But without further ado, the main reason we are here right now is to hear from our beloved leader, Lord
good friend.
Robbins, Lord Hastings Robert Robbins. If you would please come out and join us, hear it for Lord Robbins.
Let's hear it.
Keep going. A big round of applause. Let's hear it. Everyone, I've got Lord Jackson.
Hi. I have to sit.
Yes, you do.
I fell asleep in the evil garden for 20 minutes, and the last things I heard was Lynn saying, I think he's falling asleep. 20 minutes later, I wake up and did I fall asleep? Yes, you did. We just let you sleep.
Good.
Anyway, so a couple things. We have a few leftover tickets from this year and this year, pre-sale and the regular ones. I think they're mostly the death certificates. If you want a pristine copy, they are up here. And from the original pre-sale one, so you can get some of my gory art that I tried doing on the computer. As I know everyone's like, mine is wrinkled. Oh, you can have some. It's one of those box things I have to take home. So, TeslaCon is a different convention. I think everyone knows that by now. But one of the things that makes it so different is opening and closing ceremonies. I mean, 80% of you are still here. Probably to find out if I'm going to do anything or say anything like awe-inspiring or shocking, but maybe. And some people had to get going. I got a kick out of, I got up very early, so I had breakfast with Tony like I usually do. And as I went down the elevator, this guy looks at me and goes, hi. I'm like, hi. He goes, you tired? I'm like, yes. He goes, oh, of course you are. Like, whatever. It's funny how time changes things and then doesn't change things. How many, if you can stand, have been here every single year? How many have been here at least 10 years? How many are new to the con? How many are coming back that are new to the con? It helps, and I talk about pre-reg a lot. See, when we started, we thought we'd have 500 to 600. That was it. I mean, not a lot. And I don't know the final numbers yet, but I have to project it's well over 800. It helps me project and plan. That's what it does. Being in advertising for almost 30 years and working for Disney, Lucasfilm, and Warner Brothers, along with PepsiCo and people like Target and McDonald's and you name it, I had to learn a lot about planning. And the one thing I had to learn was, before I'm allowed to do any art, I have to know my budget. And it helps. Especially when you're doing with Star Wars. My budget was $800 million. This is in 1996. I made for them in 10 weeks $2.1 billion. That was for the re-release of Star Wars at the 20th anniversary. So there was a reason for it. It wasn't just, let's just make some money. No, it was fun. But we really had to learn about project planning. And there were a lot of ins and outs with it. Now that we know what we have in pre-reg, it helps quite a bit. We're over half sold out. And I don't think too many conventions can say that. it puts us in a unique position. We know now we have a number, we have a start number. Does that make sense? And I can project from there. We know the number of people who've signed up and still want to sign up for the added ticket with Heath and his crew, and it will help us project how to build the room, how to build the experience. Do you get what I mean by this? So I can relay the information to him, and he can go, got it, now I can plan mentally how. So it helps. It also helps knowing that I know what to spend on new things, like what are the passports going to look like next year? Which I think we'll probably go back to the old-fashioned version, because we're entering another country, so why not? A real passport. Then you can put what country you're from. Thank God, this will be interesting. So, I feel sorry for the people who make stamps. What country? What's this? But I think you have a pretty good sense of what I'm trying to do. The idea of going forward with TeslaCon isn't just to keep us one story going. They're individual stories now, but to take them and to keep exploring new things, new types of adventures. Also teaching. Remember, I'm a teacher. I taught a long time. And the one thing I've learned is it never hurts to learn something new. None of us know everything. A few of us might think we do, but none of us know everything. And a young lady came up to me this morning at breakfast, which was very nice, and she said, you know, I really did enjoy the immersion panel with Mrs. Hawthorne and her sister. I said, well, thank you. And she goes, did you do that? I said, no, that was their idea. I said, they wanted to do something. I said, it'd be nice if we could do something, but I let them design it. And she said, I think it was wonderful because it makes us grow closer to the characters. And so I'm going to talk to Heath and see what he thinks about doing at least one or something of an immersion panel for you, which I think could be fun. Remember, he's not an Egyptologist, but he can memorize information. He'll just deliver it in a funny way. But if you think about it, I was talking to Tony this morning about it, and some other people, Nancy, Google. I was not quite 14 when King Tut came to Chicago. I don't know if too many remember the exhibit. I was enthralled. I was like, it is a gold mask. Here it is floating in front of me. And I was just like, this is so cool. And my dad allowed me to get the book. You know, it was $50 back then in the 70s. Oh yeah, it was expensive. Oh, trust me. The Egyptian state made a lot of money off this thing. But it was thick, and I would look at these things on the way down to the exhibit, and I knew exactly what I wanted to see. The problem was when I got there, I'm like, this is it! And it's like, you know, this beautiful picture of the pharaoh walking, and you get there and it's this tall. I thought they were all 5, 8, 12 inches tall. No, most of them were under 3 inches, because they're pure gold. And now I just bought the new, last week, National Geographic book on the reintroduction of Tut, because they found out all this new stuff. But what I was commenting on was how much in the last 30 years we've learned prior to that. We have new MRI systems, we have all kinds of LiDAR, radar, all kinds of things we can use for digs. And we're learning all this new stuff with DNA and everything about them. I mean, he wasn't a really good king. He was very sickly and sort of crumpled up. And it's interesting. So I'm going to try to take as much real information and infuse it in the story as we can. Now, obviously, this is not going to be a real pharaoh. Okay? We're not going to do that. But it will be sort of fun. Yes, we'll have a real mummy. Not a real dead mummy, but we'll have one running around after them, and you'll see them in the hall. I'll try not to do toilet paper. Although last night at the ball, right here, one of them, Emily Bush goes, you know, we're going to do this again next year, but it'll be toilet paper time. I'm like, oh God. I'm thinking the hotel, like, where's all the toilet paper? There are 3 people trying to wipe and they can't. So, you gotta be a little careful. And then who has the softest touch to them after being done 3,500 years? I don't know! But, you know, I was thinking about that, and Tony was just commenting about how we could do dolls again. There are ways to do it. I don't know what the competitions are gonna be. That's gonna be a tricky one. But the thing is, I want us to have fun, but you know I've said this before to you. I want us to learn. We're not just here to party and that. I mean, we are, but I think when you leave a place and you've learned something that you haven't learned before, you become a better person. You know a little more about the world. You understand a little more about a culture, about people. I tried to do that this weekend with Dias de los Mortes, with the help of Christine Rita Dow. And then Eduardo doing his panels, and then Carolina. I tried to introduce something new. And my invitation is always open to people who come from different cultures and want to do things. I'll listen. I'm right here. All right? I am right here and I'll listen to you. If you want to try something, let me know. Just don't do it this next week. You know, everyone goes, well, it's always about Britain. And I'm like, I know, and it gets boring after a while. But on the other hand, recreating stuff can be tricky. I'm going to say this very bluntly. Egypt is easy to create because it's cheap, because there's a ton of Egyptian stuff out. Recreating things like Bucharest and that gets to be expensive, because you just don't go to the store and go, yeah, you know what? I'd like to buy some Romanian stuff. Well, sure, we have it in Department 4. It doesn't work like that. So, but you go, I like Egyptian stuff. Sure, it looks like crap. Here it is on Amazon. That's not what we'll do. One of our guests next year, Brian Fabrosh, and his wife will be coming. He's an EVA foam specialist. He will be making Tony Smoot's mask. And we're basing it on the Anubis mask from Stargate, but he's going to steampunk it for us. So you'll get to see that. You'll also get to see a lot of Tony walking around and not much, so, you know, he's a priest. But I figured, sick pups. So, although it's not like Tony minds either, he'll pose for him, I'm sure. It's like, okay. But there are things I want to do like that, but make them historical, sort of. But remember, this is science fiction. This isn't real. I know I have to say it sort of goofy like that, but like the teacher with my students going, and Randy Sparkman's going, yeah, this is what he sounded like. This isn't real, kids. So now that we know that, we're okay. But I'm going to try to do the best I can, but I also want to educate you and see what I can do to enhance your vision of this. I do want to thank quite a few people, so I'm going to do some in groups and everything. George, Neil, and Randy for doing what I'm doing right now. Georgie, who puts up with me and goes, yeah, I still love you. And Randy, who was my student. His wife is my student. And my boys, Jordan, and all his friends who helped. Jordan put me to bed every night. Literally put me to bed every night. Undressed me. I was too pooped last night to do much. So he got me undressed. And then the last thing I said was, find out who's screeching like a cat. And he goes, yes, Father, I will. Love you, kisses me and shuts the door, and I fell asleep in 20 seconds. The entire tea room staff, Sam will be selling his tea out here right afterwards, and in the atrium for a little while, because I know they're hanger-oners. So he'll be doing that. Lynn Marie and Wanda for creating the evil garden room and for helping me with costumes and everything. I really appreciate it. I want to thank Natasha and Vic. Is Natasha here? Natasha? Vic? And Vic left all his video equipment upstairs. And especially want to thank Travis Furte for helping us with his son's lines and helping us with cogs and gears and cutting out the big tombstones there. He is waving in the back. Travis, we were going to order the panels for next year. They're rather expensive, at $150 roughly a piece. They're made of PVC, they're extruded, they're from a company in Pennsylvania. I go every March to St. Louis to the Halloween convention, and it's a well-known company. And Lynn was like, we should do these. But I mentioned it to him in the parking lot where I usually meet him. He drops the stuff off, and he goes, oh, no, I'll do it. And I said, you really want to? He goes, yeah, we'll get double thick, 2-inch foam. He goes, then you can put anything you want on the walls, which gave me the idea, well, hell, we don't have to do it one way, we can do it the other. So the hieroglyphics on the walls will be real hieroglyphics, and the cartouches will really say something. So, oh wow, look, we actually do it. His friend Lance, Lance, are you here? Okay, here. It's me! So I talked to him the other day, because he's one of you that goes, did we get tickets or not? I had it, and I found him. And he said, you know, my wife and I, when we were married, we got those books, and it tells us how to do them. And I'm like, I didn't know they had books. I didn't. This isn't something you just go to the local bookstore and go, yeah, I'd like a 4-volume set on how to write cartouches in Egyptian. Sure, come with me. They have it in the YA section, because, you know, the kids like this stuff. And he goes, I know she'd be happy to sit down with you and do it. And I'm like, really? Now I have to first come up with what I really want to say on those damn cartouches. But the point is, it's real. It's not going to be fake. It's not going to be pretend. It's real. And I think that's sort of fun, and it's important because it gives more credence to it. And I do want to thank, even though we couldn't use it this year, but it's going to be used next year, he's sitting right in the front row. Oh yes. I won't say it then. Some guy who's very nice who gave me my parrot. So, the registration team, of course, for always being there for us. Thank you very, very much. Dan McMahon, who's shooting me directly in front of me right now, who I went to high school with, and his son Jackson for taking pictures. Neil, my villain, who's been here a decade with me. And he started year 3, and he was my butler. And at that time, we didn't make him the bad guy, but he rode down the elevator with me, very quiet. My son's with me. And of course, Jordan knew what Jordan's like. Oh my God, Dad, look at all the people waiting for you. Oh my God, this is Neil. And he has this tray with him, and I proceed to shake everybody's hand, and the music is playing, and Neil just calmly collects it and doesn't say anything. And I'm saying, hello, thank you for the flowers, thank you. He graciously puts them on. And I turn around halfway through, and there's this huge, huge pile of flowers. And he doesn't say, he just smiles. And he kept us cool and did his work for me this weekend, which I greatly appreciate. Because everyone's like, I want to buy that extra ticket. He's like, are you in a group or one? It's just sort of like, there's a reason why I love Neil so much. It's like, oh my God, everything's exploding. Are you far enough away? And it helps. He doesn't get real unhinged. I need that. Betty and Tiff, where are you, honey? There you are. These two have helped me so much. They paint all the styrofoam that Travis cuts. They help me around the house. They help me get things organized. They take it home, they work on it, they bring it back. I did a wedding for some friends of mine this year. They gave me, it was nice of them, very, very nice. They gave me cogs and gears and said, well, do what you want with them. So those two grabbed the paint and repainted them just so we could put them up here. So they weren't the wedding colors, you know. But they do a lot of work for me every year. They help transport stuff over here, they help transport and bring it back, and they're always there for me. Thank you. Kate Loomis. Katie? So, Kate is a good friend who she'll let me vent. She'll let me cry and say things. And she helped quite a bit. The McKinsters. Where are the McKinsters? Where? Oh, okay. I can't. You're all sort of not even monochromatic, but gray at a certain point. For doing everything, for building this beautiful speaker for the dead, bringing in the hearse, but most of all, creating those dang hearse races. I was like, I don't know how to engineer this. I'll do it, I know. He came up with a way to do it. And then next year, God only knows what we'll put him through. Chariot racing, I don't know. We'll figure something out. Remember, we're not the Hittites, okay? So, jeez. Eric and Jim from the hotel. All my actors, thank you so much. Yes, we were hit with COVID like a dust storm. And to Will especially for pulling it together. I do want to thank Deb. She was who I had picked originally for Mrs. Hawthorne. And it was the last night when we were doing the fashion show. And my friend leans over and she goes, God, is she good? Yeah. And I said, yes, that's why I picked her. She has the aplomb and finesse to say anything. It's like, remoulade and death. How wonderful. And you're like, yeah. She's good. To Gayla, who spent the weekend with me a week ago, literally the weekend, she slept over, we got up and we started working again. She made sure I got to bed. She went to bed. We get up, she's already making coffee. She says, let's get started. And we were stuffing envelopes, doing everything. Thank you so much. You're wonderful. She's the one who made the plates for the VIP dinner. And all the little, she helped make the badges. And she's gonna be helping quite a bit next year. We've got some ideas. And then to Tony, who managed to keep my sanity in tow and keep me in check when things would get a little hot. He'd be like, you know what? I'll handle it, it's okay. And he did. If there was a problem, he could run faster than me. And if something needed figuring out, he'd go, just a minute, let's figure this out quietly. We would. He's like, let's do this. Okay, this will work. We can switch this around here and then we'll do this. Yep, I'll go tell him to switch. I'm like, okay. So, big thanks to Tony for making sure we're ran smooth. I hope I didn't forget anyone. The thing is, what you see is it. What I see is everything else. And I see 9 months, 10 months of it. And is it gonna work? Is it gonna work? Is this gonna turn on? Is this gonna turn on? Is this gonna plug in right? Is it gonna plug in right? And it's hard after a decade. I mean, more than a decade. If you realize we started actually 14 years ago with the party at WindyCon, and we're now here minus the 1 year, this really would have been our 13th convention. And we weren't lucky, no one was that year, but we're back. I haven't talked to everyone, but the dealers have been saying they've done phenomenally well this year. The fact that it was interesting talking to a few of them. They said, we've been to some bigger conventions this year in the past 4 months. I said, oh, how did you do it? They said, well, 30, 40,000 people. We're under 1,000. We made more money here. TeslaCon is considered like the Harrods of the Tiffany's conventions. All the dealers know it. Abby gets a lot of people trying to get in. And some people are rejected. They don't meet the standards. We want to get things for you that you can't find everywhere. And she does a very good job of that. And I want to thank Abby especially for running that room. She had her trouble a little towards the end, but she always pulls it out. She always makes it work. She always makes it so the dealers get answers and are able to do what they need to do. And that makes it easy for you. So next year, remember, we're later in the month, but it's going to be more of a Christmas con. You get to shop for your presents next year. Not like you're doing now, but even more so. Oh, I know what I can get. I do want to thank a special thanks to Dr. Gus, who single-handedly, when we came up with the Tea Society, and I sent him the designs, I said, something like this. And you have to know Gus relatively well to understand how he works. Within 48 hours, like this? And I said, how do you do this? Well, I just stayed up and did it. There were quite a few designs. I just had to pick one. And he does that. And then he goes, oh, by the way, I did the skeleton key, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did 3 of these, and I'm like, what the? But that's what he does. And he'll be working with us on the new Tea Society badges next year. We've talked with Brett. Brett will be going to other conventions and hopefully doing panels for us as we continue to promote it, and it's going to be more of a fun little thing you join and you can get a badge. So next year we hope to have 3 or 4 badges you can get here at the con. It's sort of like being a Boy Scout, but rather bizarre and weird stuff. Look, I dug up somebody. Wow, you get a badge. Yeah. So, I think overall, I want to end with a couple things. I have never been approached by so many new people, and I mean brand new people who've never been there before, who have said, I have never had more fun. I had no idea what this was. No clue. I brought my husband, brought my wife, brought 2 kids, brought my aunt, whatever. We're all coming back and we're bringing more people. That makes me feel very good. But when people come up to me and say, it really helped. A few people were saying after the Dias de los Muertos dinner, it felt cathartically like we could start over again. And I think that's what it's for. I think this year is sort of the shedding of the past. Let's move on. We all made it through. You know, it's something to think we lived through a pandemic, but we all made it. And I think a lot of people want to just move on with stuff. And I hope this convention gets us started on that. So 2023 isn't like 2020 and isn't a far distant mirror. So I want to thank you all, sincerely. It's hard to get up in the morning and go, what am I going to do to make these people happy? Because to me, you're entrusting me. So you know, I don't touch the money you've given me right now. I don't touch it at all. It has to go in the bank and stays there. Because you're entrusting me to spend it correctly. I'm not the government. I'm the guy who tries to make your memories come to life. And after working for Disney and learning what Disney did, I try to stick to those principles. You come to me for 4 days and go, I want to be entertained. It is important to thank all the people who did the panels and the Maker's Room panels, because they're also part of all of this too. They take the time to make the presentations. They take the time to bring it here. Hopefully practice more than once at home. Hopefully. And, but you learn stuff. And it isn't just me. You might think it isn't though. It's those people, it's the vendors. I have to take a whole chorus of people and wrap it into something every year. And it's interesting how every year is different and every year is sort of the same. Next year we'll have Turkish coffee. Why? Because we're in Egypt. It'll be Egyptian. You put cardamom in if you want, but even Hassan, who does the meals. How many of you like the meals this year? They were pretty good. A few bumps in the road, and I talked to him about it. But he goes, you'll know it's just Turkish coffee. I said, yeah, I know. And he goes, but you put cardamom in it. You'll know that. And I said, yes, I do. So we'll have it both ways. But yeah, they're actual coffee makers that make Turkish coffee. They're brand new. I didn't even know the things existed. We made enough money, I'll buy some. Because the last thing I want to see is some poor person going, oh my God, it looks like sludge. It's not supposed to look like that. So, or like, it always reminds me of what Ellie Mae's coffee looked like on the Beverly Hillbillies. Just pour it out. Granny would be like, oh, and Jed would be like, that looks good, honey. Look at Granny like, well, it's thick. So, but I want to do that. I've talked to some people about some entertainment. I don't know what we're going to do for music. This is one of those weird ones where, how do we do it? Yes, we'll have Walk Like an Egyptian, for God's sakes. You know, if we don't do it, I'll be stoned, so. But I'm hoping what we can do is get some really good instruments in here and try to play some ancient style stuff. It doesn't have to be modern, but panels or discussions about paint, mummy unwrappings. Okay, everyone's asking, and I'm going to ask you now. Do you want to have a mummy unwrapping? Here's the thing, we will do it historically accurate. I am not going to make fun of it, we're not going to do anything weird. The ending might be funny, but the actual thing itself won't be. Like I said, I stick to the history. Even though it's science fiction, we'll put as much accuracy as we can in it, but I'm going to be respectful. There's some different things we could do. I've asked my partner, Brian, to come up and actually do a class, and I've asked Lynn to help with it on foima paintings. It's a thing the Romans did when they died in Egypt. They would have their portraits painted first and put on the mummy. And I thought it'd be like a two-part course, like 2 or 3 hours and 2 or 3 hours the next day. Just so you could have enough time to finish it. But I want to do fun things like that. We will have, as one of the competitions. You ready? I'm going to announce it. Nothing with 8 arms, though. That looks freaky. Oh, I'm looking at you, Rich Keller. I am looking at you. Mummified cats. I will tell you what I'm looking for. No, you will not have real mummified cats. No. Paper mache. But there is an art to it, and there are some very beautiful ones. And I thought, well, we can do that. But we were going to talk about more historical stuff because at the age they were doing this, it was the explosion of Egyptania. And I wanted to actually get some real good info in. The one thing, I hate to say it, but they used it as firewood constantly. That was a common thing. Throw another cat on the fire. You know, and it was, they did. We won't do that, don't worry, but, you know. Look into this stuff. I'm going to start posting things about historical reference sites different things you can read to give you ideas, okay? I want you to get ideas. I want you to look into things. Please don't go on Amazon and go, I think I'll go as a pharaoh. Don't. We don't need that. But I do have all the pictures ready for the looks for men and women. And Molly, if you could come up for just a second. And Rich, could you come up for a second? Just stand here. This is the color we're going to use next year. Beige and khaki. Yeah, that's it. You sit down. I'll put a color palette up again. A lot of you asked for one. This year it's black. Next year we're going to have some difference. And I'll show you some things. I'm going to try to show you some fabric. You can make these scarves and that out of. There were actual types of fabric. So I want to make it easy for you. But give me a couple weeks. I gotta get this thing ripped apart first. Ouch. And then I'll be going on it. So that is gonna wrap it up. I can't thank you all enough. I mean, I see people like Marty here coming from far out east. I see people from Texas, Chicago. I see people from Iowa. Not real far, but you know what I mean. Some new people from New York State, Arkansas, Arizona, Texas, well, Texas, that was Texas. That's right, Canada. Oh, Canada, oh, Canada. You come to my convention anyway, so, but, you know, year 4, we had 42 countries here. This whole other part of the room was open. For those who weren't here, you have to understand the dais was 12 feet tall. Travis helped me put it together, begrudgingly. He said, what the hell is this thing? And we had people for over 40 minutes parading with flags in here. From all these pretend countries, real countries, and there were still people outside waiting to get in. It was packed. And it's hard to believe, but we still have people from other countries coming. We still have people from over, ready for this, I did have a recount, 28 states here this weekend. So that means a lot. It also means that I think people have accepted us as, it's TeslaCon. It's no longer, it's at Steampunk Convention in Wisconsin. We're TeslaCon. And you belong to a bigger community and family. You belong to a group that enjoys dancing with ghosts, doing the time work. Dan will be giving me the footage soon, and we can look at it. I'll post what I can. But it'll probably be on the website, so it'll be one central place. Eduardo, sorry, but it's going to be the easiest thing. But if you have stuff, do me a favor, don't post it quite yet. Wait till after next weekend. Everyone gets home, settled, and then people can start seeing it and commenting. I think that'd be nice. And don't post everything all at once. Let it filter over a few weeks. I think that would be fun. I just wish we had another 30,000 square feet to this place, because there would be so much more we could do. I know I heard the one gripe was, we wish the competition stuff would stay up. The unfortunate part is we don't have room for it. We just don't. Every room has to be utilized for something. So, unless we do it Saturday night, we just leave it open to Sunday, but we lose a room for Sunday. So, I'm working on stuff. We're going to see what we can do. Yes, it snowed this weekend. No, it didn't stick.
Damn it.
But it's sort of funny. As I leave here now, it feels like my end of the year. This is my end of the year. You have to understand I work 12 months for 4 days. That's what I do. And now it's done. And I can go into hibernation and watch Netflix. But I sincerely want to thank everyone. Some of you said you made me feel that I made you feel as part of a new community, that it was inviting, it was warm. I've heard people tell me, and others, that I've never felt so appreciated and loved. They said they didn't see animosity or anything like that here. It was just friendly people being friendly and helping each other. And after everything we've been through in this country, I think that's pretty damn good. We have to remember we're still all Americans, or Canadians. I see Natasha back there. Oh, Dutch too, okay, fine, yes. It could be Dutch. Dutch. In those shoes? But we are. And we're not here for the politics, we're not here for religion, we're not here for any of that. We're here to celebrate a time and an era of science fiction that means something to us. And puppets. Yes, we will have the Muppets return next year. Okay? Muppets, I won't say how, but Muppets will be in it. It's, Mummy Muppet will be the most bizarre thing in the world. But I'm hoping everything works out, we'll have fun. But again, this is who we are. This is TeslaCon. We're a family. This isn't just a con anymore. We've proven that. We're the oldest, largest North American convention still. It doesn't show any signs of stopping. And I'm not going to. I promise you to keep going, and we will. I'll go as long as I can. No. 15 was the stop point. We'll see what happens there. But when I'm done, I'll let you know. We've got dates for the Paranormal Con and ExpectoCon finally. So we're working on those right now. We should know something very soon. I will be doing the Our Flag Means Death convention the way it looks. For Samantha Ray Crossland. She wants it done in Minneapolis. It could be here, could be there, I don't know yet. And I've been asked to do several other things. So I'm sort of branching. And I'm like, why do you want me? Well, you run TeslaCon, so can you run this? I don't know this fandom at all. We don't care. No one who knows it runs a good con. Can you just run it for us? If you want. I still don't know anything about it. But they want me to do it. So all I know about how further I am in Our Flag Means Death is we will have an orange and lavender ticket. That's all I understand. I don't get it, but whatever. Samantha's like, oh, this is going to be fun. I'm like, okay, I guess. So, we'll see. But we're going to keep moving with stuff. All I ask of you is to believe in each other, to stay friends, and to keep believing in the con as a whole. The convention isn't me, okay? It isn't. It's mine, by law, and I still own the rights, Mr. Tweet. But it's yours. It's a community. I mean, I have a lot of friends here. I see people from Iowa, Nebraska, St. Louis, Missouri, Kentucky, Florida, everywhere. And you all come once a year, but you write me once in a while online. I know I'm going to have 8 million requests for friendships now. I'm going to have another 12,000 thank you, Erics. And I won't see them for probably a week or two, just to let you know. If you want to hold off, it will help, because I can't see anything really this week. I'll be in and out of the hospital. So, just wait. I'll see them, I promise. But it means a lot, especially when you come up and give me a reassuring squeeze that it meant something to you. So thank you. You've made me very happy.